It won't begin with a formal declaration. It won't start with a speech at the United Nations. The Third World War will likely begin in silence, with a severed underwater cable, a hacked satellite, or a single misunderstood signal in the South China Sea. For 80 years, we have told ourselves that nuclear deterrence makes total war impossible. But today, as the great powers of the East and West collide, that guarantee is expiring. The question isn't just if it could happen, but whether the countdown has already started. To understand where we are going, we must first understand the pattern of the past. Major wars rarely begin with a single explosion. They begin with a slow, suffocating accumulation of pressure. Before the First World War, it was a tangled web of alliances and national pride that turned a regional assassination into a continental slaughter. Before the Second, it was the unchecked expansion of aggressive powers who gambled that the rest of the world was too tired to stop them. Today, we see shadows of both eras. The board is set differently, but the pieces are moving with familiar, dangerous intent. The most visible fracture line lies in Eastern Europe. The war between Russia and Ukraine has shattered the security architecture that held the continent together since the end of the Cold War. What began as a territorial dispute has evolved into a grinding war of attrition, a proxy battle where modern Western technology clashes with the raw industrial might of a resurgent Russian war machine. It is a conflict that has hardened alliances, pushing nations into opposing corners. Europe rearms, borders are fortified, and the rhetoric from Moscow frames the struggle not just as a regional war, but as an existential battle against the West. Every shipment of missiles and every new sanction deepens the divide, raising the terrifying prospect of a miscalculation that could spill over NATO borders. Yet, as volatile as Europe remains, the eyes of strategists often turn east. The relationship between the United States and China defines the 21st century, and that relationship is fraying. It is a rivalry that spans every domain: economic dominance, technological superiority, and military reach. The flashpoint of Taiwan remains the most dangerous square mile on the planet. For Beijing, reunification is a matter of national destiny. For Washington and its allies, the island is a crucial outpost of democracy and a linchpin of the global economy. As navies maneuver in the South China Sea and fighter jets test airspace boundaries, the margin for error shrinks. A collision at sea or a misunderstood signal could trigger a chain reaction that pulls the world's two largest economies into direct kinetic conflict. While the great powers circle each other, the rest of the world is not standing still. The Middle East remains a powder keg where ancient grievances meet modern weaponry. Proxy wars in Yemen, Syria, and the ongoing volatility surrounding Israel and its neighbors create a constant state of instability. The involvement of major powers, backing different sides, supplying arms, and maneuvering for influence means that a local flare-up can quickly escalate into a regional conflagration that draws the world in. Further south, the tectonic plates of geopolitics are shifting across Africa and South Asia. From the resource-rich conflict zones of the Sahel to the disputed borders of the Himalayas, smaller conflicts are brewing that may not dominate the headlines but contribute to global disorder. As resources like water and arable land become scarcer, these regional disputes risk becoming the battlegrounds of the future, where major powers compete for the raw materials needed to fuel their economies and their armies. But does this mean World War III is inevitable? Not necessarily. The world of today is different from the world of 1914 or 1939 in one crucial way: the existence of nuclear weapons. The terrifying logic of mutually assured destruction still holds a powerful grip on the minds of leaders. The cost of total war is no longer just defeat, it is annihilation. This paradox, that the deadliest weapons ever invented are the very things keeping the peace, has held for 80 years. But it is a fragile shield. It relies on rational actors, clear communication, and the assumption that no leader will ever feel desperate enough to flip the table. We are living in an era of precarious balance. The global order is being reshuffled, and the transition from one era to the next is always the most dangerous time in history. The chances of a third world war depend on choices made today, in Washington, in Beijing, in Moscow, and in Brussels. It depends on whether diplomacy can find off-ramps before the highway ends. History is not a script that is already written. It is a collection of decisions. As we watch the news unfold and see the tensions rise, we are reminded that peace is not a natural state of affairs. It is something that must be built, maintained, and defended every single day. The storm clouds are gathering, undeniably dark and heavy, but the storm has not yet broken. Whether we find shelter or face the deluge is the defining question of our time.